Let's be honest for a second. You've seen all those videos, right? The ones promising you can get rich in like 18 months or retire by the time you're 28. And deep down, you kind of know it's not the full story. Well, today, we're skipping all that fantasy, and we're going to look at the real map. The path to your first $100,000, it's not some secret hack. It's slow, it's kind of boring, but it is absolutely 100% possible. So let's start building that foundation one boring step at a time.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's legendary right-hand man, he said it best. That first 100 grand is famously the toughest milestone to hit. And you know why? Because it's actually less about the money itself and more about forging the habits, the mindset that are going to build your wealth for the rest of your life. It's the critical first push.
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to understand why this milestone is such a big deal. Then, we'll walk through 5 clear, actionable steps to get you right to that $100,000 starting line.
So what is the magic behind this number? Well, getting to your first 100,000 isn't just about stacking cash. It's about building the system, your personal financial engine, that makes all your future growth even possible. Think of it as the proof of concept for your entire financial life.
You know, in the beginning, every single dollar you save is from your own effort. It is a pure grind. You are pushing that car up the hill. But once you hit that 100K mark and you have it invested, the power of compound interest really starts to kick in. Your money starts working for you, making more money all by itself. The car's engine finally turns on.
Okay, let's get our hands dirty with our first actionable step. Before you can make any real progress, you have got to know exactly where you stand. I mean, you can't build a skyscraper on a foundation of, well, guesses. You need the cold, hard numbers.
And here's the reality. Most people are in the exact same boat. A study from the FINRA Foundation found that almost 2/3 of Americans couldn't pass a basic financial literacy test. So if you feel a little lost or maybe a little behind with your finances, you are definitely not alone.
And this right here is so important to remember. You are not broken. You are not born bad with money. The truth is, most of us were never taught this stuff in school. So let's reframe this. This isn't a point of shame, it's a point of action. You're learning now, and that is what matters.
So here's your mission. Find these 3 numbers. First, what actually hits your bank account each month after all the taxes are taken out? That's your take-home pay. Second, go through your last few bank statements and add up every single expense, and be honest with yourself. And third, subtract your expenses from your income. That number that's left over, that's the gap. That, right there, is your wealth-building fuel.
All right, once you have your numbers, it is time to play defense. See, before you can go on offense and start investing, you have to build a firewall, something that protects you from the unexpected life stuff that derails most people's financial plans.
I know it's so tempting to just jump straight into investing, but the math here is it's undeniable. The average credit card has an interest rate of around 22%. Paying that off is like giving yourself a guaranteed 22% return on your money. I mean, no investment on earth can safely promise you that. For comparison, the S&P 500 stock market index averages about 10% over the long haul. Mathematically, killing that high-interest debt is the absolute best investment you can make.
Think about it like this. High-interest debt is a giant anchor that is actively pulling your net worth down every single month. You can't build momentum, you can't sail towards your goals if you're dragging that kind of weight behind you. You have to cut the anchor first.
Now, while you're paying off that debt, you need this firewall, a starter emergency fund of just $1,000. This is not for investing. It's insurance. It's the buffer that stops a flat tire or an unexpected trip to the doctor from becoming new credit card debt, which would just send you right back to square one.
All right, your defense is up. Now we get to the real engine of this whole thing, widening the gap between what you earn and what you spend. This gap, this is the raw material for every single one of your financial goals. The bigger the gap, the faster you get where you want to go.
And it's actually really simple. There are only 2 ways to do this. You can spend less or you can earn more. Now, most people just focus on one or the other. But the people who make progress the fastest, they learn how to pull both of these levers at the exact same time. Now, when it comes to cutting expenses, please forget about the lattes. That is lazy advice. For real impact, you have to look at the big 3, the categories that eat up most of our budgets: housing, transportation, and food. A small change in one of these is worth way more than 100 skipped coffees. Oh, and also, do an audit of your subscriptions.
The average person spends over $200 a month on them, often without even realizing it. And on the flip side, look for ways to boost your income. Can you ask for a raise? Develop a new skill? Maybe start a side hustle? Pulling both levers is the secret sauce to widening that gap.
And now, for the final step. This is where you really put your money to work for you. And the biggest mistake people make here is just waiting. They wait till they feel ready or till they have enough money. But in investing, your most powerful asset isn't money, it's time.
So why is starting right now so critical? It all comes down to the magic of compound growth, which honestly, our brains aren't really wired to understand intuitively. So let me just show you a simple example that makes this whole thing terrifyingly clear. Just look at this. If you start investing just $300 a month at age 25, by the time you're 55, you could have over $600,000. But if you wait just 10 years and you start at 35, that same $300 a month gets you less than $230,000. That 10-year delay, it cost you $370,000. Time isn't just a factor, it is the factor.
So here's your simple, boring, and crazy effective playbook. First, if your job offers a 401k match, you contribute enough to get every single penny of that free money. It's a no-brainer. Next, open up a Roth IRA. It's just a special retirement account where your money can grow completely tax-free. Inside those accounts, buy a simple, low-cost S&P 500 index fund. That's just like buying a tiny piece of the 500 biggest companies in America. Then, the most important part, automate your contributions and just let time do all the heavy lifting for you.
And this brings us to probably the most important mindset shift of all. The journey to $100,000 feels, well, flat for a long time. It feels like nothing is happening. This is what people call the hockey stick curve. Your job isn't to find some get-rich-quick shortcut. Your job is to have the discipline to just stay in the game through that long, flat, boring part. Because that is what eventually gets you to that explosive upward bend. So when you boil it all down, the path isn't a secret at all. It's just a process. 1, know your numbers. 2, destroy high-interest debt. 3, build that starter emergency fund. 4, systematically widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And 5, invest that difference consistently, no matter what. That is the boring, proven path.
And that's it. That is the boring but very real path to your first $100,000. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. Of all these different stages we talked about, the debt, the emergency fund, the investing, which one feels like your biggest hurdle right now? Let us know down in the comments. You never know, your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Thanks so much for watching.